Kobo versus SEO Drip. This is a MCS Zero Chill semifinal matchup, and excited to break this one down. Both of these competitors actually were able to lock the Madden Bull as a result of their first round win in the Zero Chill live event. And really, really excited for this because Kobo ended up beating Henry, knocking off Henry. And honestly, what's really interesting to me about this matchup is that Drip is one of those players that last year really kind of jumped onto the scene in Madden Bowl through winning LCQ. And I believe that he beat Drini to get to the Madden Bowl in LCQ. So he came out of the gauntlet that is LCQ. He's been right on the edge every single tournament and finally got to the live here in the Zero Chill event. Now, Kobo is kind of, a perennial top level Madden player. He is lab partners with Henry, actually beat his good buddy Henry in the round prior to this one. And Kobo is actually the guy that I feel like put a lot of people onto the dollar defense. Kobo, one of the best defensive players in the world. Dollar, a lot of people walked away from Dollar in this year's game because of its inability to be able to get good, consistent pressure. But Kobo has kind of a really interesting way of running the defense. And I'm going to be going through a couple of things that he's doing. Both of these guys are two of the best switch stick based players in the world. You're going to see really, really good strategy around switch stick. You're also going to see Kobo play offense in an interesting way. Drip also is going to play offense in kind of an interesting way to me. What Kobo is going to be doing offensively is he is in the Commander's playbook, and he is going to be making offense really, really easy for himself. Now, what Drip is going to be doing is I believe that he is in the Jaguars offensive playbook. And I want you to watch how he plays offense. It's really, really fascinating to me. He's going to be audibling around a lot, and he's going to be calling really, really high percentage plays out of the Jaguars playbook. I'm going to break down a little bit after this quick audible here of the core schematics here. And this is actually really, really good stuff. If you want to take your game to the next level, I think that there's no better game to watch from the tournament than this one, because you're going to see how good the quote unquote meta stuff is, and then also little tweaks to the meta that you can kind of put into your own game. So Kobo is going to be in this dollar defense in pretty much every single play. He is going to be basing out of the strong safety zone blitz. The strong safety zone blitz, what it has in it is it has the safety on a blitz angle, it has this linebacker on a blitz angle, and then it has these guys right here blitzing. So it's essentially a Sin 5 base, and then it is a cover 3 defense with 2 seam flat players. Kobo will almost never keep the seam flats, I believe, and he will almost never keep the blitzing safety here. So what Kobo is going to do is he is going to kind of glitch, not necessarily a glitch, but there is a glitch, if you will, within the defense that I've been talking about since the beta, where if you slant your defensive line to the side of the blitzing linebacker, which is what he will do, what's going to happen is he is going to get this, what was an A-gap blitz is now going to be a crossfire blitzing angle. Now, this is essentially an A-gap loop blitz angle that he's able to create within this defense. He will also, pretty much 99% of the time, put this guy in some level of coverage. He's not going to blitz that safety a lot. Now, the reason that that matters and the reason why this defense is so effective, there's not necessarily a great blitz threat from it. This looper, he certainly can come in occasionally throughout the game, but what happens a lot is a couple of different things. The first thing that happens is a run or pass tell that Kobo is going to get. If Drip calls an RPO or if Drip calls a run-based play, what happens with this blitz angle is even though Kobo slants to the right, this blitz angle goes from a crossfire blitz angle like this to essentially an A-gap blitz angle like this. So when Kobo is looking at his play art, he can tell based off the blitz angle of this player, as long as he slants that line this way, what's going to happen. If this blitzer is going to blitz this way, on a slant right, that means it's a run or an RPO. If this blitzer is going to loop in, then that means it is probably going to be a passing play. The reason that that matters is because pass committing is one of the most effective tools in your toolkit as a defensive player. When you pass commit in this year's game, you're going to be able to get really, really consistent quality, good shed pressure from this defensive line. Another thing that's really, I think, relevant is that Kobo has, as if you look at the bottom of these defensive linemen here, you're going to see X factors on both of these defensive ends. That means that he is loading these defensive ends up with AP as well as X factors. I'm not 100% sure the X factors or even the abilities that he's using, but I can guarantee you one thing. He has double or nothing on all three of these players. He might even have double or nothing here. I don't know if you can put it on Bolton, but he's going to have double or nothing on the 3D lineman. I would assume he's probably going to pair double or nothing with instant rebate and then probably have the X factor. I would want to say it's unstoppable force. The reason why unstoppable force is because you just can get better sheds. The instant rebate paired with the double or nothing is really good because when you get a shed with double or nothing, the instant rebate is going to instantly restore the stamina that your defenders used when running that blitz. Another key ability that I believe that Kobo is using is, and something that I would use if I was running this dollar defense, is the defensive rally ability. The reason the defensive rally ability is good is it restores all of your defensive line stamina on 3rd and 4th down. So if you think about it, if you get a shed on 1st down, you use that instant rebate to restore the stamina on 2nd down. And let's say you get a shed on 2nd down, then on 3rd and 4th down, defensive rally is going to restore your stamina. And so you're going to be able to get better sheds on really all 4 downs if you use that ability stack. Again, I don't know for sure that that's what Kobo is doing in this game, but this is what I would do. And I know for sure he's got to have double or nothing on his D line, but I don't know about the other pairings. The other thing that he has here is this is a cover. So this is a cover 3 zone based switch stick based defense. Now, one of the things that changed in the patch, you're not going to see it in this game, but in the patch, they actually updated KOs and they made KOs significantly better. And so if you're running this defense, I believe that this is going to be the best defense for the rest of the year. I've got a full ebook on it in my school community. If you're not a school community member yet, the link will be in the description. It breaks this defense down in extreme detail. And like I said, I believe that this will be the best defense for the rest of the year. The reason being is because it's a zone-based defense and KOs are really getting a lot better. The other thing you need to know about this defense is that on Drip's offensive line, he's going to be using pass protectors on probably all 5 of these linemen. And what you're going to notice is those pass protectors, they will help a little bit with the sheds, but they're not going to stop the sheds completely. This is a year where block shedding is probably better than blitzing, just in my opinion. And you do have the threat of this sometimes coming in. So anyway, that's what I wanted to break down, at least from the pressure perspective. The abilities perspective, I would assume that you're going to get mid-zone KO on literally every single zone coverage player and probably this linebacker as well. All these guys have free mid-zone KO, and then I would assume that these safeties here are going to have deep zone knockout so that they're able to consistently knock the ball out. And again, those KO abilities got significantly better in the title update. One last thing I want to say before we get into the first play of this game is where his user is. As you see here in dollar, and this is what I think really takes dollar from a good defense, a quality defense, to the best defense in the game. In this year's game, there is a really, really good way to shoot the run out of dollar, and it's essentially taking your user and basically getting as close to the defensive tackle on either side as you possibly can. You typically want to be on the running back side, as you see Kobo is on the running back side. And what will happen is if Drip runs the ball here, this guard will not almost never block this guy, and you can just loop in and stop the run that way. It also has some pretty crazy run shoots out of the under center formation, which we'll see if we'll see any of that in this tournament breakdown. But just suffice to say for now that dollar actually probably has one of the better run defenses in the game, especially when you pair it with that run pass tell, especially from shotgun-based offenses. If you're playing a heavy run game under center, you might want to get into a B-Nog, which is in this playbook. I forgot to even mention the playbook. He's in Jag's defensive playbook. Okay, all that to say, let's see how Drip attacks his defense. But this is the best defense in the game by far. One thing you're going to see here is Drip actually has a slant out on his running back. Now, the reason why is he calls the play out of doubles flex Y off closed motion dig under. The reason this play is really effective is really primarily for 2 reasons. Number one, the running back is on a auto motion route. So the stock route in the play is an auto motion, I believe zig route or something like that. So what Drip does is he comes out with his running back on this side of the field, I believe, at a bunch, and he audibles. When he audibles to this, because it's an auto motion route in this game, he can immediately hot route him to a slant, and the game treats him as if he was a slot receiver. So he gets a slant out to the running back. It's kind of a cool little thing. I think it's cuter than it is effective, but that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, when you get over here to the backside, this is why you call this play, though. It's for this drag right here. This drag is really, really effective because number one, it's going to beat man coverage pretty well. It's like a speed drag. And then number two, it gets underneath everything. It's very difficult to play this route. So you see that he essentially has what I call a good old-fashioned Madden combo, which is a high-low. He's going to have a high-low between the in route and the drag route, and then he's going to have this running back really as kind of a quick read. And this streak is just essentially a clear-out route if Kobo busts a coverage, or if Kobo goes cover zero, he can freeform that with the small pass lead. I believe that both of these players are going to be using the small pass lead mechanic. Typically, they'll have their placement or their passing type on placement and accuracy, their pass lead increase on small, and their reticle speed on 7 out of 20. So let's see the first play. So as you see, he stems up an in route, got the tight end on the end, 2 clear out streaks, and we're just going to take a quick route to the drag. Now, I also want you to see how these DNs light up. That is the ability that Kobo has on him. I believe that's a double or nothing. But anyway, you see you get that quick instant shed. So, good quality play on both their parts. But this is kind of setting the stage for how this game is going to go. And I'm about 1,000% sure that Drip is in the Jags playbook, which I'm excited because he's one of the only players that is running the Jags playbook in this event. And I believe that Jags is actually significantly better than you might think. And you're going to see some of the plays that he's going to go to. This one is really good. This is a quality play here. Notice, again, Kobo's user. He's hovering right here, and he's preparing to loop the run. So he's always got an ability to stop that. Drip goes with this combo. Double streaks here on the left and a running back streak right here. Again, just a good quality combo because these streaks are going to clear out the deep zones. As you see right here, the user basically has to choose. Are you going to guard the drag or are you going to guard the post? In this case, you're going to see that Kobo decides that he's going to play conservative and he's going to guard this post route, and Drip is going to get to this drag, which even though Kobo had it manned up, it's going to beat man coverage consistently. And you just see high quality route combinations. Every single time I watch one of these competitive Madden games, what I really always seem to take away is they call good quality plays. They rarely call bad plays, and they're going to try to just simply use their plays and make the reads consistently. And right here is actually pretty scary for Drip. He almost gets stopped. He goes to a combo that I see Clef run a lot, and we'll see if we can actually not going to be able to actually get a good look at the play art, so I'll just draw it. So you're going to get a streak and a streak. Then you're going to get a drag, you're going to get a return route, and you're going to get a running back wheel. Sometimes this right side streak will actually be a curl, but I believe that Drip puts him on a streak. Why is this play good? This play is good because what is Kobo's base defense? Kobo's base defense, which Drip knows this, is you're going to get a looping defender here, you're going to get 2 hard flats, and then you're going to get a hook from the safety position, a deep third, and then the user right here. What's essentially going to happen is this streak will run these 2 deep defenders out of the play. You have a chance, if this hook curl is shaded down too low, you could potentially hit this streak right here. And then if the yellow carries the streak, then this return route is going to get open kind of in this little pocket. But really the main threat on the play is this running back wheel once he kind of clears, because the tight end will pull, this flat defender will go this way, this third will go this way, and there'll be this pocket right here. So anyways, that's kind of what Drip's trying to accomplish here. We'll take a look at Kobo's defense. As you see, it's basically exactly like I say. The only difference is instead of a hook here, I think that Kobo actually puts this guy on a quarter, but you get this cover 3 situation. And then really the open player, which also, by the way, take a look at the offensive line. You're seeing a defender light up for Kobo, and you're going to see these sheds go crazy right there. See that light up? That's a shed from Double or Nothing. But as you kind of slow this play down, you kind of see what we're going to get here, right? Kobo's user is going to take this wheel, and then this is going to come open right here. But you're getting that block shed ability of that dollar defense, and this is why Double or Nothing is really, really important in this game. And I believe that Kobo pairs this with something. But anyways, as you can see here, he's getting shedded right at the time that this is coming open. I believe that Drip is actually going to throw the wheel because he sees that Kobo switches. And this wheel is going to be a completion, but as you see, you've got 3 defenders right in the face of the quarterback, and it bounces off the tackle, almost could have been intercepted there. But, you know, a high quality combo, a high quality defensive play, and really it just kind of came down to a little bit of pressure that Kobo was able to generate with that double or nothing ability. Here you're going to see he's going to go back to that motion play. This is motion angle wheel. It has the running back on kind of a shuffle motion. Well, again, what he's able to do is he's able to put him on a quick slant. They're going to give him slot hot routes there, which is crazy that EA hasn't done anything about this because this has been a thing since like August. But anyway, and it was a hot route issue in CFB as well. But anyway, what you're going to see here is kind of an interesting combo from Drip. It's 2 seam streaks. Drip's running a lot of double seam streaks. A couple reasons why. Number one, if Kobo mans everything up, that's a freeform pass led streak. Number two, it's going to do a good job of clearing out space and really kind of making Kobo have to play cover 4. Those 2 seam streak threats, you can always throw those against cover 3 Cloud and cover 3 Buzz, depending on the hook curl defender. So as you see here, again, he's anticipating this hard flat. If he gets that, this streak is going to clear out this third, and he can throw this tight end wheel, you know, kind of right in this little seam area of the field. He gives Kobo something to use or backside with that drag, especially if he's in cover 4. And so he's kind of just playing high-low games. So what you're going to see here is at the snap of the ball, you're going to see there's that tight end wheel right in that soft pocket. That's a really hard route to switch stick to if you don't know that it's coming. And that's another thing that Drip is doing is he is mixing up his play calls quite a bit in this game. Here you're going to see a flip bunch. For the first time, he is actually going to call something out of bunch X nasty. Or no, second time, I guess, here. Now, this combo is your standard streak corner wheel, and he actually messes. I think this is a bad read, but it works out for him here. I don't know if he was anticipating Kobo switch stick something, but here's the combination. What you're going to get is you're going to get a streak, you're going to get a drag, you're going to get what appears to be a short corner. It could be a stem down corner, and then you're going to get a wheel, and then you're going to get a backside kind of post. So pretty standard combo. This is essentially a kind of a variation of a double post combination from bunch offset that's been so good for so long. It's just instead of a C route on this left side, we're getting this stem down corner. Again, Kobo is going to run a lot of hard flats. So you're going to get hard flat, hard flat. So what happens is this running back threatens the flat for a minute and then he wheels up. And then you have this tight end drag underneath. So this flat defender gets put in a lot of conflict. So what Drip is wanting to do is he's wanting to hit this corner route right here. But if Kobo switches that, then let's say Kobo switches over here to the left side, then he's going to have this seam streak threat and this high post right here over the middle of the field. Because again, Kobo is going to run a lot of shaded down hooks. And he's also going to switch stick onto this middle third a lot, which is going to leave this vulnerable. So what Kobo does here defensively is he actually only sends 4. As you see, hook, hook, hard flat, what appears to be hard flat, curl flat, and then like a cover 3 Mabel type of look here. Now, what you're going to see is that Kobo instantly switches here because if he does not switch to this defender, this is a touchdown all year long. And Drip sees that. So that's why Drip, you know, first read's got to be this streak, and he's probably looking at it. Now, as he looks at this, Kobo gets off this pretty quickly, but this is going to be wide open over here to the sideline. And Drip ends up deciding to kind of check this down right at a right at a shaded down hook. And he's lucky that it's not KO'd, but, you know, nothing really hurt by Kobo. That's a 2nd and 6. But, you know, anyway, just a lot going on in these plays. Here he's going to go to the doubles flex Y off close formation, and he is going to run that same combo he ran again, kind of trying to get that high-low, plays that game off that tight end. And, you know, that has been a very high percentage play call that he's had so far in this game. So I'm curious to see how often he's going to run that. Another really good thing to do in doubles is motion this running back out. You can do a lot of stuff here. Right here, it looks like Kobo, or it's going to run PA snag and almost throw an interception. You see Kobo's face. And this, to me, has kind of been the story of this game. One of the things that Drip does a lot is he's going to do like a streak, and then he's going to run a drag underneath it. And essentially, he's expecting the hook to back up, right? If it's a stock hook curl, it'll back up. If it's a user hook curl, oftentimes it'll back up as well because they don't want to give up the seam streak. But what you see Kobo do here is he kind of drops back, and then he's going to snap down. Watch the snap that he does with his user. Snaps right down on this. That is getting open, but here. Drip's able to complete it, but honestly, that was pretty good defense by Kobo and could have been problematic for him. One of the things I'm really interested to watch in this game, and I think if you're watching any kind of high level Madden, you always want to watch the red zone, see what they're doing, how are they scoring down there. It's by far and away the hardest place to score on the field, and it's really what separates I think the best offenses. So here you see a halfback off tackle out of the bunch tight end formation, and really just a free touchdown from Drip. Obviously, he probably labbed that run against Dollar. It's a little bit more difficult of a shoot. And shout out to the broadcast taking us to the B stream here. Let's see if we can get back to the Kobo and Drip game. So as you see here, Drip is going to be setting up Dollar. He's going to be doing a lot of the same stuff that I explained in detail that Kobo was doing. But Drip's going to do it from really two-ish plays. He's got that SS zone, but he's also got that match that he'll want to do some as well. And you're going to see Kobo. I kind of like the way that Kobo plays offense because he makes the game really, really easy on himself. You saw there that that Drip is going to have the 5-yard hook curls. Another real quick underrated thing that Drip's going to do, which I wanted to break down here real quick. Let me just show you at the play call. So you see here, these are the two plays that he's going to base out of. This is what I call a B gap loop angle because if you walk this linebacker over here, he'll loop into the B gap. This is an A gap loop angle because he'll actually loop technically into the A gap when you do it. Now, the most important thing here is watch what he does. You see right here, see how he flipped the play? Why would you flip the play like that? He flips the play like that because it's going to actually help him defend the quick hike a little bit better. Sometimes in this SS zone blitz, what happens is when you come out in the play, they really get to their positions very slow. So as a way that a method for Drip to get a better alignment, he's actually going to come out in the play flipped, immediately flips the play as you see, and it settles these safeties into their positions. You get a little bit better positioning when doing that. So that's just a quick thing that he's going to do that I wanted to highlight. And we're actually going to get to see a show. I wish they would show the defensive side of the ball a lot more. I feel like offenses, I don't know. I just wish I wish you could see the defensive perspective a lot more because we are literally in the most offensive based Madden, the last couple of years. So anyway, one of the reasons why Kobo's in Commanders is he's going to get these really cool auto motion plays out of this, but he's going to run a lot of bunch strong offset. It's a little bit off meta, and he's going to throw a pick right out of the gate. And this is what happens in Dollar, right? This is what happens in Dollar, and it's so important to highlight this. This is not pressure. This is block sheds. This is not a blitz, right? Drip doesn't even loop him right here. You watch the linebacker, watch the blitz angle. You're going to see that this blitz angle, it stays on this. He's going to run right into pressure, as you see there. And then take a look. You're not getting any free rusher. There's not a single free rusher here. But because of Dollar, you're going to struggle a little bit with pocket. As you see, Kobo's backpedaled about 10 yards. You never really want to do this unless you're getting pressured. And then Kobo's going to throw, obviously, just a really bad read, right? And just a mistake. And this is, again, I always say this when I watch competitive players, this gives me hope because I throw blind passes sometimes too. I don't know what he was expecting to happen, if he was trying to ag him or what. Obviously here, when we slow it down, you could get the ball here, maybe even get the ball to the drag because it's got to step on the user. But this is the block shed pressure of Dollar that it creates. I don't know if he's trying to inside pass lead and get it, but Drip's guy is manned up on that tight end, and that's a pick. And he's going to take the ball away. And again, this just kind of goes to show, right? Even the best players in the world, the players that make hundreds of thousands of dollars every year playing Madden, they sometimes make mistakes, mental mistakes. That's why I like actually how Kobo normally plays offense, because he plays offense in a way that typically limits a lot of his mistakes, calls really high percentage plays. But anyway, right there, Drip's going to go to a horizontal strain. And Drip kind of plays offense like that as well. He's going to just call a lot of what you could categorize in Madden as, power plays, money plays, everything beaters, whatever you want to call it, just high leverage plays that have answers against every single coverage. Here he's going to go to motion dig under. He's got 3 vertical attacking routes. The drag is really a check down. He can also playmaker that drag route, and he's just going to dump it down to the back. Kind of gets a bad animation there. A lot of reasons for that. He might have tried to freeform that, And when you freeform, if you're on small pass lead, if you freeform anything that is not a streak, you normally get a really, really, really bad pass lead. All right, so right here, Drip's going to go to bunch X nasty drive. He's got that nice in route to the running back, really hard to defend, and Koba does a really good job of defending it. Honestly, Drip's not making great reads either. He's throwing at those low yellows. That post would be wide open. But I do think that's out of some level of respect for Kobo's switch stick. If you watched the breakdown that I did in the Kobo and Henry game, it really showed how Kobo's switch stick is really what makes his defense special. And he was able to make just some really, really good plays against Henry defensively that put him in position late in the game to be able to win that one. So anyway, let's see what Kobo's doing offensively. Second drive. He also has the gun hit, the heavy package there that he can use in the red zone. And I want to talk about the quarterback in just a minute. Here's that motion PA switch play. He's going to use that slot fade glitch route, kind of just like Drip was doing. Actually, no, he kind of goes to a different little combo. And again, just low, real kind of knick-knacky little peppers in different angles against this. What's really important also when playing dollar is Drip almost switches him again. When you're playing dollar, or really when you're playing any defense, especially dollar though, what makes dollar such a good defense is number one, the block sheds are going to be good. Number two, the coverage aspect of dollar is really good. And so you're going to be able to kind of contain, there's a nice rollout playmaker. You're going to be able to kind of contain and play a bend but don't break style of defense. Whereas if you're playing a double mug, even if you're playing like a 3-3 odd, a lot of those pressure-based defenses, there's so many holes in them that you can get the big play. It's a little bit easier to get big plays against them. Whereas dollar, if you have a good dollar, you're going to see this style of it's going to need to be 5 to 10 yard play over and over again, not a big chunk play a lot of the times. Dollar is going to take that away and really force you to score in the red zone. Here, Drip goes to, or Kobo goes to a little baby dotted play out of corner strike, throws away, just didn't like what he saw there. And honestly, this is pretty bad. Kind of the worst offense we've seen Kobo play so far in the tournament, I would say. He's not really, everything's, kind of eh. All right, good old shout out to the split screen here, but we're going to focus on this left side. And that was just, to me, this is a really bad play. This is my opinion. But when you're down 10-0, I believe that Kobo does get bought half, which is good. He's down 10-0. He's going to go to a kind of a bomb play, if you will. And what he's looking for here is against a cover 3, which is what Drip's running a lot of. He's got the China Y post. He puts the tight end on a post and stems him down. But basically, he's hoping that this third will actually bite on the comeback. And then this seam streak will clear out this deep middle third, and it will leave this kind of pocket right here to throw the tight end. Again, it's not necessarily a bad play, but you're in a 3rd and 6, okay? And it's kind of a must-score drive for Kobo. And so to me, it's a little bit of a shot play, and I don't know how necessary it was. He obviously gives himself some underneath stuff, but I want you to look at how this play kind of goes. As you see here, he kind of has exactly what he wants, right? He's going to get this window to throw this tight end across the middle, and Drip's going to do a really good job, as any good player would, of switching this. And because you're on the 25-yard line, this could be a throw the streak for a touchdown, but it's kind of difficult to do that because you're in a limited amount of space. Also, we have a free, first down if we hit our back, and Kobo just kind of hesitates because he's kind of staring. I would think he's kind of staring down that post. And again, now you put yourself in a 4th and 6 situation, not really an ideal position to be in because he kind of has to score. You don't want the game to get away from you. And so he's going to go for it on 4th and 6. The 25-yard line, again, limited amount of space. I think he's going to call on 4th down what he probably should have called on the other down here. It's going to be his good old money play, Durham, and he's going to get stopped again. And, this is what I'm talking about. So, this is a cover 2. This is a beater, but take a look at this these adjustments here from Drip. He's got a hard, flat backside, but on the play side here, the short side, it looks like a curl flat. And this slot fade is a dot. It's a good read. You're going to get crosser, running back Texas route, tight end angle route, and then a slot fade. There's a lot of sloppiness here, in my opinion, but also he's a short side. It's a short side dot. What he's looking to do is this tight end will actually take this defender. And so he's looking to throw this in this little window. But because drip curl flats to the short side here, because when you're playing bunch strong offset, there's not a whole lot that really threatens the direct flat. He curl flats him, and he's able to get this defender. See, this is an open play if you've got a little bit more space. But again, because we're on the 25-yard line, it's a limited amount of space throw, and he's not able to wait on it, and the curl flat defender ends up playing it. And you see Kobo obviously not expecting that to occur, and he gets stopped again. And it just kind of comes back to like, ball in the 25-yard line, limited amount of space. I think what Kobo was probably trying to do was he was trying to catch him in a cover 2 hard flat style defense where that slot fade would be a touchdown. Didn't work out, and there wasn't a whole lot else to throw. And so it kind of comes back to, again, good quality play calls are super important in these high-level games. And he did have some answers, but ultimately, based on where he was at on the field, the short side, that curl flat defender kind of went crazy on that play. And I feel like that's a byproduct of a third down play call where, again, kind of same thing, trying to hit that big play, and it didn't really help him out. So, anywho, obviously, he's a top level player, but I just felt like didn't play his best first half in this game. So, anyway, back here, Drip's about to he's going to get a big hit here for a touchdown. So he's 2nd and 6. And if we just take a look at the combo here, this is a good quality combo. I don't know if he's going to show it. Yeah, he will. Okay, so this is a good quality combo. This has been a thing all year long out of Y off trio close. Again, drip is basic. This is just my opinion, but drip is basically playing August or September Madden in December. And the reason why is these are the combos that you saw people run a ton in the beginning of the year. And Drip is kind of stuck with those plays. He's stuck in the Jags playbook. A lot of people have shifted to Benkert Dimes or Chiefs or Jets or Commanders, right? And Drip's kind of still in Jags. And really interesting that he is. And you're going to see a nice play call here. This is a quality play call. It's really good against zone. You're going to get a high-low read between your drag here, and that drag can also be thrown over here. You're going to get your post that's going to get hit right here. It can also technically be thrown over here. You got a slot fade that's going to clear out a lot of space. It's going to take those deep zones back. And then on the back side of this, you've got a streak that's going to clear out this defender. And then let's say you have like a low hook curl or whatever, this running back will clear that hook curl. So he's got a lot of answers to be able to throw it. It's really a good combo specifically against zone coverage. Zone coverage is really going to get manipulated by this combo. And so I just kind of take a look here at Kobo's coverage. It's not necessarily bad coverage. It's cover 4 hard flat effectively. You see a hard flat, you see a hook, hard flat, hook. I would assume these are quarters. You might get a third here and a quarter, third, right? This is pretty standard. So the read progression for Drip is we're really playing the game off here. What is his user going to do? And as you see, he switches to the running back initially. Now, Drip's eyes probably go here, and we know that the drag is basically canceled because you have 2 low defenders. You technically could playmaker the drag up, but it's not going to be that good. Really, the read is between the tight end and the running back. Now, as you see, Drip kind of waits patiently on this, and you see Kobo try to play this game on this post and this slot fade. So what Drip could do is you see here that he snaps down and then clicks off. He could throw this for a touchdown, but he wisely just goes backside where he saw this user go over here. We want to throw the ball away from the user, generally speaking. And so he's just going to hit that running back, which look at all this space. It's probably 30 yards of open space. He hits the running back here and then immediately cuts to the outside, and he's able to get out of there and get a touchdown with Josh Jacobs. Couple of abilities for you guys if you want to kind of know what these guys are doing ability-wise on the offensive side of the ball. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I don't have a copy of their teams, but what I would assume they're doing is because you got those zero chill abilities, you're going to get human joystick on Josh Jacobs on Drip side right there. That's kind of what allowed for that good cut. The other thing you're going to get, every single player in this tournament used Josh Allen the zero chill Josh Allen card. Why? Because Josh Allen has the best release in the game. The Josh Allen release is confirmed the best release in the game. So if you're playing the game right now, should not be using anybody that's not Josh Allen. And Josh Allen, obviously, very affordable at this point in the year. So, and you see there, Kobo has Jacobs as well. So I would assume it's short and elite in terms of what we're seeing there ability wise. Nice little corner route there from Kobo, and you're down 17-0. Now, 4 minutes left in the half. There are some scenarios here of how you can play this. He's going to go to that same combo just out of bunch strong, and he's going to be patient. He's going to hit the same running back streak. This play needs to be called more. If dollar is going to be a meta that you're going to see, you need to be using this combo right here. This is dagger at a bunch strong offset. Drip just did the same thing out of Y off trio close. You're going to get a streak. You're going to get a clear out. If this guy was like in this alignment, it would be a slot fade. Because he's out here, you can just use the standard clear out. And then you're getting that post drag. So again, you're getting the same combo. It's just from two different formations that are very similar in two completely different playbooks. But what you're going to see here is notice the users right here. So Kobo's eyes are right here because this guy's clearing out. There's no one for Drip to switch to. There's really no, how is he going to, I mean, he'd have to switch here and then get a crazy turn, and then you could even scramble at that point. So anyway, Drip actually messes up. Like you see here, he tries to defend it, but he can't. This is a big play right here as well. But again, Kobo on time, Josh Allen release, super effective, and he's able to get it out to Josh Jacobs and put him in a position. Only problem with that, in my opinion, is he picked up too many yards, right? It's a good problem to have, but end of half scenario here, 4 minutes left. You would kind of ideally want to clock this out and make the game 14-17 because Kobo gets ball at half, but not going to be able to do it now. Kobo going to go back to the same combo. The scramble's open. He's going to take it, get upfield, get down with Josh Allen. Obviously, want to slide with your quarterbacks just to kind of ensure that you're not going to get a fumble. 2nd down and 6, ball on the 21-yard line. Kobo's going to run a lot of Durham, and I think he's going to go to Durham here. And really, Durham and dagger are very similar. So Durham, the one difference here, and this is what Kobo does, is he's got a short side wheel. Why is that short side wheel really good? Well, because of this running back streak, there's actually, the wheel is throwable here, but it's also kind of throwable here depending on the coverage that they run and how they switch it. Just like in dagger, though, you're going to get this high-low over the middle between these two defenders. So a lot of similarities between the two plays. It's just one real little subtle tweak to both of them. So you see Drip switches this. That means that this is going to be open late, but pressure bears down on him, and he has to throw the ball away and live to play another down. But again, 3 play calls, all back-to-back, very similar play calls, all pretty good results. He basically ran the same-ish play 3 times, right? And at the highest level had success against one of the best players in the world in SEO Drip. So anyway, 3rd and 6, cheap flat post. Nice combination here with a short post out of normal. But, don't love that. Didn't get him enough answers, and you got him on another 4th down. And here's the problem. So let me back up this film and just kind of highlight what you're going to see. So again, you're getting the dollar loop real quick. These little solid bars, that means Kobo's in base protection. And what he does here, the reason why call the play, right? Got a couple different things that you could do with this play, but what you have, the reason is because you have this short post route. Short post route is really good against zone. It's really good against man. You want to put routes around it. So what Kobo decides to do here is he has a wheel that will pull this flat defender, and then it'll create that void again for that running back streak if there's no hook. On the other side of this, normally this play stock is a return and a fade. You could fade that guy. What Kobo decides to do is a streak and this drag. The problem with this drag, and this is a real subtle thing, the spacing is a little bit off. And the reason why is because this guy's on the line of scrimmage. If this guy was off of the line of scrimmage like he is in doubles, this would be a little bit better. But in doubles, you can't get the flat short post that's better against man. So there's pros and cons. But anyway, the read progression, typically your first read is going to be this wheel, maybe the streak, but typically that flat. And I want to show you what happens here. As you see, Drip switches, but it's not covered. It's open. And when Kobo sees this switch, he probably immediately looks to this backside drag or to maybe hitting this post in this middle. Okay. But as this play kind of runs, you're going to see that Drip runs him down, covers here, and now you're getting, look, the dollar shed. Again, this is what makes dollars so good is if you can take away the layup throws, if you can take away the quick throws, the sheds will normally on their own help you take away the intermediate throws, and they will force you to throw into a switch stick. So as you see, good switch stick by Drip. This guy is wide open at this point, but Kobo probably got off of him a little too quickly. And now he's going to have to, actually, I think he saw the tight end, but he got kind of a throw out a sack animation, and it puts him on another fourth down. You know, and this has kind of been the story of the first half, right? It's been really difficult for Kobo offensively, you know, and you've seen kind of flashes of quality offense, and then you've kind of seen the pressure of dollar and some of the elements that it can do. But Kobo's going to come back with a big boy dot, and he is going to hit this slot fades. This is the same play that he called on 4th and 6, pretty much. I want to take into the actual play call here. This is literally the same play he called on the last 4th down. This is what he wanted to have happen last time. It's Durham, and it's got this crosser. You've got this tight end wheel, and then I believe you got this little running back route. So Kobo clearly likes this play in a key situation. The main route is a slot fade. What Drip does is last time he had a curl flat and he had a third. This time, Drip is anticipating that Kobo is going to go to something different, and so he calls a different coverage here. As you see, he calls a cover 2 cloud flat. The problem is he is going to be able to kind of throw this in the back corner because this defender, Drip has now switched on to go play the tight end or to go play this or to go play this. And so there's just nobody there, and it's a really good job by Kobo kind of, you know, sticking with one of your money plays, even though it kind of let you down on the last 4th down. And even though he was technically in a closer position, he was able to hit that into a nice little window there. The only downside to this is he's giving Drip the ball back with 3 minutes and 29 seconds. A very obvious clock management scenario here from SEO. Drip is probably on its way, so we'll see what he is able to do. About 42 or about 3 minutes and 29 seconds left in this one. So again, you've kind of hopefully noticed through this gameplay, through this film, is that there is a lot going on, but at the core, if you can get kind of the core schematic down, it's really, you're not seeing a lot of variety in coverage, by the way, either. You're seeing very strong base coverages with good switch stick. You're seeing cover 4 hard flat. You're seeing cover 3 with a yellow. You're seeing roll coverage. You know, you're not seeing, they're not adjusting out of their mind. They're doing little things each play defensively. And they're also offensively, you know, trying to call, you know, just the best plays they can. So cheat tight end halfback seam here. Got that glitchy auto motion play to the slot receiver. You can do a lot with that play. Another thing that you're seeing that Drip's doing with his audibles is he is doing a lot of his audibles. He's got a very select few plays that give him a lot of different options. So anyway, that's going to bring up a 3rd down. I did a full breakdown of that other game on the channel already. If you guys want to check that out, that is going to be on the YouTube channel. But anywho, here you're going to see PA snag from Drip. And this is a 1st and 10 situation. So he is going to be able, you know, for Drip right now, the one thing you want to do, even if you only get 3, you really just want to make sure Kobo doesn't touch this ball. I don't know why we're doing that. We're in a tournament game and we've got some crazy stuff going on here. We're not watching the actual game. I was really disappointed with the broadcast in this game when they had John Beast and Henry on at the same time. That was probably the best that I've seen. So you had like a super high in that regard where they actually broke some stuff down. But this little like silliness that we saw all throughout the broadcast booth with these questions, I love that they're engaged in the chat a little bit, but I was really disappointed with the fact that there wasn't more talk about the actual game on the field. But maybe that's just a old man that loves Madden. So Drip going to go over top, and he's going to hit Dion over the top. Now, there's a lot that actually is worth breaking down here. He's going to choose to score here. He could have gone down, and you know, it's not necessarily the wrong decision because he's so up by so many points here. But Kobo switches defenses. He comes out in 4-3, even 6-1. And this is going to give you just a little bit of insight into 6-1 because I do think 6-1 is growing in strength as you head down the stretch of this year. 6-1 is always one of those defenses that gets better as the year goes on. And the reason why is because it's always going to be good against the run and it's got good pressure. And when you get fast linebackers, that pressure can get even better. So bottom line here is Kobo's going to go with a spread D line look out of a cover zero base. Now, the cover zero base here, take a look at this little streak that Drip's choosing to leave on the field. This is motion dig under. It's a stock fade from the slot receiver. And what you're going to see here is Kobo actually just runs a Texas stunt here. And then he cover zero adjusts out of this with basically 2 flats. And then it's cover zero across the board. Why go to that defense? In my opinion, the core strategy here is he's going to play a little bit more aggressive to try, number one, to not allow Drip to run the ball. And then number two, to try to get the ball back. 2 minutes, 27 seconds left. He ideally wants to get the ball back. So if he gives up a big play, at least he gets the ball back. Well, right here, he tries to switch stick the fade, and he actually hit sticks. As you see there, see Diggs? He's hit sticking Diggs here. He gets behind here, but basically, this is just a walk-in touchdown. Drip doesn't even really have to do that much, but it's a perfect accuracy lob over the top, Dion. And then Drip's kind of debating here, I would think. Do I score? Do I not score? He decides to score. Reason being is because he gets a 7, and because he's up by so many points. He's up in this game by 17 points. That's 3 possessions. You would always want to take a 3-possession lead really whenever you can in this game. And he's kind of betting on how he's playing defense so far. He's been playing amazing defense against Kobo. He's having a ton of success defensively so far this game. So, he's going to go into, I would assume here what he's thinking is I can hold Kobo to 3, which Kobo's probably not going to take 3, but he could get a red zone stop, or he could just get a flat out stop. So we'll see how it goes. Good pressure. Honestly, great pocket maneuvering by Kobo there, able to just get to his player out of Durham. And you're starting to see Kobo kind of settle into this game, and he's calling Durham, 4 out of every 5 times here. So, like I said, I already did a breakdown on this one on the channel. Let's pay attention over here to the left side of the screen and see what we can see here. Little run play from Kobo right there. Really, again, here now Kobo is trying to do that clock at the end of half situation, try to make sure that he doesn't give Drip the ball back with time and try to just go into half. Ideally for Kobo, you go into half down 14 because Kobo does get the ball out of half. So if Kobo is able to get the ball out of half, go down and score, all of a sudden a game where Kobo's pretty much been getting he's been getting destroyed in this game. It's 24-7, right? He's down 17. He could actually be in a position, even though I don't think he stopped Drip yet. He might have stopped him one time. I don't think he stopped Drip yet. He held him to a field goal, I think. But in a game where he's really not been doing very well, he could actually get back into this game just because he gets the ball out of half. And that is why it is so important. It's one of the standard things of Madden every single year. Your coin toss first choice should be on kick. You should be trying to get the ball in the second half because you can use these end of half scenarios to really put yourself in a good position. It's going to go to a glitchy RPO play out of this with that motion that he is hot routed. And he's going to try to hit that little really nice play out of Commanders, a super glitchy little RPO that Kobo goes to there onto the bunch strong. But now he's kind of in that position where he needs to score. Now, one of the interesting red zone combos that Kobo has been going to all game is this empty bunch. And it's this seam divide play where he's going to get this really nice route to the tight end, a little crosser, and then he's going to do, like something like this. Like this is a complete freestyle play, actually. I think he has this wheel route stock in the play, though. And so that wheel route's going to do a really good job against any kind of cover, too. Quick tip, you don't want to use deep end routes. You don't want to use post routes. You want to use crossing routes in the red zone. These hot routed crossing routes are really good because they don't stop running when they get to the back of the end zone. They would hit the back of the end zone, and then they'll just kind of flatten across the back of the end zone here. So this is basically a trips tight end combo. The only difference is really you get a flat route. So it's a slant, return route, the flat to pull the flat out, and then the crosser over the top. So anyway, he's going to take this probably pretty far down here. As you see, there's that cover two, so that wheel. You get the flat, users over here. And this is going to be defended pretty well, but that slant route gets thrown in that pocket, and Kobo's able to break the tackle and able to get a touchdown. It's a big touchdown in this game, and it actually worked out a lot better for Kobo than, because now 14 seconds left in the half, you're going to be in a position where you just need to be able to hold drip right here, and then you're going to get ball out of half, and that's going to give you an opportunity to be able to go down and get the touchdown. And it could potentially, by the next time SEO drip touches this ball, it could potentially be 21-24. So again, it just highlights how important, like, Kobo has played really bad by his standards in the first half, especially on the offensive side of the ball. That's really led to this game so far. And he's still in a good position to be able to hang in there, right? Drip has no timeouts as well, so this has to be a touchdown or a catch right out of bounds. Drip's going to go to motion HB choice. What makes this play really good here is this seam streak. He's going to stem the seam streak down. It's going to give him a nice bomb route that he can go to. But, Kobo's going to be all over that. He switches it. Drip going to just scramble up with Allen. I'm really surprised right there. He opts to slide instead of run out of bounds, give himself another play. Not 100% sure why he would do that, other than to just avoid a fumble or avoid a big hit on his quarterback. Again, I don't know. But he just basically opts to go into halftime here. And I believe they're going to show us the kickoff first, and then we'll have to skip ahead the halftime analysis. But so far in this game, as you see, Kobo's in a great position. Even though he was losing by 17, he is going to be able to make this very easily a one-possession game. All you have to do is get a good drive out of half. There, he speed bursts out of there with the left trigger and does a nice job, gets a great return out of half to get started. All right, second half action here for Kobo and SEO Drip. And excited to kind of see how this goes, how this game goes. See what Kobo's able to do here in the second half. Again, the big situation. It's a huge drive. Kobo, in my opinion, I just feel like you've got to get 7 on this drive right here. It's a big, big drive. He's going to a bomb play, first play. And right here, this is a Kobo bomb play. I want to walk you through the actual setup. So it's corner strike. He has a flat corner here. He full slides his line to the right. So it's a designed rollout play against the dollar. Typically this contain is not going to do a great job of containing. So what he's going to do is he's going to call a slot fade, and he's going to stem it. Now, you might not know this, but to stem slot fades, all you need to do is you need to hot route your slot fade. You're going to smart route your slot fade. And then when you smart route your slot fade, the game will let you stem this. So what Kobo is going to do is he's going to stem this up like this and try to throw this over the top. So essentially you get this rollout. As you see, the contain doesn't really contain, doesn't play him very well. And then you're getting like a cover 4. What happens is because he stemmed up the slot fade, the game thinks it's a streak, and the quarter will actually bite on this stemmed up corner. Also, Drip is going to naturally switch stick it as well, and you're going to see right here. So Drip does a really good job of recognizing this play, and he kind of midpoints it. He's kind of running here and kind of running here. So Kobo has it but doesn't really have it, and Kobo is going to try to just throw this in here. I don't know if he freeforms this. I think at the end of the day, he just gets an inaccurate. As you see, it's bad timing. He's going to get an inaccurate on that. And I don't know if he freeforms it or not, but, just gets an inaccurate. I would be surprised if he did freeform that. But either way, just doesn't throw an accurate pass and second down. So tries to go to a big play to get the half started with a big hitter, not able to get it done. Going to go to the slot fade play with the tight end on the flip slot fade, hits the tight end in a really nice route. I don't know that I've broke this down yet, so I just want to make sure we're clear here. What he does is he comes out in a play out of his bunch strong that has this tight end on an auto motion. So even if it's like an auto motion like that or whatever, it's going to work. What happens is there's a bug in this game, and when he flips the play, if you see there, he immediately hot routes this tight end to a slot fade, and the game allows him to have a slot fade that stays with the flip and goes the other direction. He puts combos around it to kind of hit that tight end. One of the things I don't love that Kobo's doing is he's running a lot of big, like bomb plays. It's back to back bomb plays to start out. I feel like all you need is just a really good quality, consistent drive here, but it's working for him. He's able to get downfield. Now he's going to go to one of his money plays, real high level combo right here. This is a short side combo. And what Kobo has, it's a stock. It has a stock tight end deep corner. And so this is, I actually really like this combo. This is one of the best combos I saw from Kobo in the tournament. You got a streak here to the slot receiver. You've got a return route and a flat. What makes this good is, let's say that, remember when I was talking about how Drip was using a curl flat on the short side? If Drip uses this curl flat right here, he will actually bite on this return route. If Drip uses a hard flat, the hard flat will get suctioned down to the swing. So either way, your tight end corner is going to get open, assuming Drip doesn't switch stick it. So as you see here, he actually switches here, but the bottom line is this guy is too low. He can't defend it. Drip gets onto this guy, and he's in position. But as you see, for some reason, he switches down here. This is one of the things that you see in these guys with switch stick when they're, switch stick is such a big piece of the way defense is played. Sometimes it's almost overdone, and you're going to see that right here. Like, why do you care? Why does anyone care about the swing route to the running back? It's not a big deal, right? But he switches off his defender. Now he tries to get back onto him, and he's a step too late to get there. And Kobo's able to dot him on a play where he was actually in a pretty good spot to be able to defend that. So here we're making fun of users' outfit instead of watching, the biggest drive of a semifinal matchup. Again, just not a fan of that, and I don't think I'll ever be a fan of that. Was really disappointed in a lot of that. This game goes back to that combination at a bunch. Let's see if we can actually see it here. So can't quite see it, but basically what you're going to get is you're going to get tight end what appears here to be an out route, a return route, a tight end crosser, an out route, and a return, or a flat and a return. Actually, I apologize. It's a flat and a return. These return routes are really the money route down here because they get in really good spots. And you can also playmaker them here. But you see, this is literally a triangle read, right? This is a triangle read. And these out routes are just pulling the flats. So Kobo has 3 different options. The user chooses to defend the seam. This is wide open, cut up field, and he's going to be in a good position here. Weak Neighbors just needs to break 1 tackle, gets enough of an animation there to be able to get in the end zone. And just like I said, he was down 17 points at one point. Now, all he needs, he hasn't gotten a stop yet. That's what's crazy. I mean, he got, I think, a red zone stop, like I said, but he hasn't gotten a full stop. And so he's able to get back into the game even without getting a full stop. And Kobo's been stopped, I want to say 2, maybe 3 times in this game, but he's right there. He's right there just because he won the coin toss. Just because he won the coin toss and he chose to kick it. And he did a good job of managing the half. Drip going to get out of there with Dion. This is why, what I think is becoming a new potential strategy with the kickoffs this year is to kick the ball out of bounds. Speed bursting is so good. If you kick the ball out of bounds like over here, I think that the ball just goes to the 25, maybe 35. Is it really that big of a deal when you're consistently seeing kick returns, right? At the top level, you're seeing these kick returns be a problem. So my personal strategy is I think I'm going to try to find a way where you can't return the ball and just live with that. I just want to make sure that we're never giving free touchdowns. I think that is so, so important in defense. Kobo's going to stay in 6-1. And really interesting decision as to why. He's going to play man coverage. He's going to get real aggressive. You'll see some pressure. Here's a send 5, gets an A gap. And let's just quickly highlight the pressure you're going to get from 6-1 here because he didn't blitz last time. So this is 6-1. He's spreading his defensive line. I don't know if he's crashing them, but I know you're going to get a blitz linebacker right here. Now, what Drip does is, like I said, I think he actually slants his D line to the blitz side because you see this D lineman go to the center here. So anyway, it appears like he slants it to the blitz linebacker side, his blitz linebacker here. And then I would assume this is just a contain. It's a send 5 off man coverage, going to get nice pressure, but Buda Baker not able to get the job done. And the other thing that Kobo does, which I think pretty much anybody can do. In your depth chart now, you can sub in safeties at the linebacker position. You just put them right into the game there, and do it that way because of some of the depth chart stuff that they've allowed you to do this year. So anyway, here we're gonna get a pinch D line. Pinch D line, great sheds. That right there is why I think 6-1 is good, because it gives you the threat of pressure, and you're going to be able to zone out of it. It's a little better. I just think it's a little better than double mug because it's symmetrical. But the one weakness of it is going to be this motion out. You see right there, SEO drip goes to a motion out. Look here. We'll see how Kobo adjusts. It looks like he's just going to man that linebacker up. The problem with that is, even though it's a safety, this guy's not going to cover well. In the game is this is why 3-4 odds 6-1. As much as I like them, they're good pressure defenses. But look at this. I mean, the safety just gets burnt in the man coverage, and this corner route is about as free as you could possibly ask for. Kobo tries to switch it, ends up hit sticking. Been a common problem all year long in this game, and yeah, just unfortunate. Kobo not going to be able to get it done defensively. Drip gets a free touchdown basically because 6-1 just can't. It just sucks, man. It doesn't. It's a good defense, but things like that are what keep it from being runnable at the highest level. Is you can't be giving up free touchdowns. So here, Kobo with a nice little speed burst gets up field to the 33-yard line. Almost broke another one. You see a little replay there of it. But the thing with 6-1 is you're normally basing out of man coverage. I don't know if there's really a great way to run it out of zone yet. I've tested some different things, but I think 6-1 could be really good, though. I really do. If there's a way to figure out the coverage aspect of the defense, it could be really good. Is it better than dollar? It probably can't be. The only thing is, it's a lot. If 6-1 becomes a really dominant run defense and gets dominant pressure, you start to think it could be a possibility. But anyway, so here, little out route. Love this combo, by the way. This is what I want to. This is a Kobo play. You got a quick out, a return, a wheel, a streak, and that post. Again, that triangle. You're creating that triangle over the middle, and then you've got the flats right here. If you just look out here, right, drip switches here. Kobo sees that. He's going to throw that every single time. And again, that's what I call just layup throws. It's just a layup throw. Get the ball in your hands. Just take advantage of where the defense is ultimately weak. 1st and 10, ball on the 48-yard line, midfield here. Kobo going to go back to that doubles or normal close. And this is a combo we haven't seen a lot. This is a bomb combo that he's going to go to. And he almost had it. But again, this is why I don't like bomb plays. And I understand why Kobo's doing it, because Kobo knows he's going to need a stop to win this game. And he's kind of running out of time. He needs to score, because he needs to score to give him time to get a stop and to get back in the game. So what he does here is he goes to a bomb concept. It's a deep speed out. I want to say about 20-ish yards. And then it's that slot fade again. So normally it's going to be like this. He smart routes it so that it's a stemmable slot fade, and he stems the slot fade up like that. And effectively what we're looking for is this quarter to bite on this out route, and then to get that slot fade over the top. So as you see here, light up animations, those double or nothings going crazy. On the backside, we just have simple high-low read. Drip does a good enough job. You could throw the running back right there, but you're getting shedded. And as you see, this is about to be a touchdown. But the pressure of dollar, the block shed, just enough pressure to be able to push the pocket, gets the job done for Drip, saves the touchdown. Kobo's about to throw that over the top for a touchdown, but get just enough pressure. 2nd down and 12. And going to go to a flood combination left side. Nice playmaker. QB playmaker. I would assume they're all running that. I would assume every single player has got the stack on Josh Allen of QB playmaker and gunslinger. Little rollout play here to the left side. Actually resets it to base. There's that corner route again. Hits that in that window. That play's been money for him. Drip just a step behind on the switches. And that's another thing you notice with good offensive players, man. They throw the ball pretty much on time. And if your switch stick is just a half second too late, you're not going to be able to get the job done. That's a nice little man up, I believe, or maybe a hook, but I think that was a man up. takes away one of the plays that Kobo has been using every single time down there in the red zone. Kobo's going to go to trips tight end, and this is what I think makes Commanders book good. Is it does have some good red zone stuff. You have trips, you have a good trips out of there with some good QB runs as well. But everything going to be bagged right there. We'll see what Kobo's able to do here on 3rd and 10. And a lot to be learned from both of these guys. He's got a short post out of trips tight end right here as well that he can stem. Gonna go with the slot fade. That's a good hit to the tight end. Now you got a 4th and 1. Big down. Big down here. What does he go to? China wide post is what I would think he would go to here. I'm surprised he didn't run the ball out of this look, but going to China wide post. He kind of freestyles a combo, though. Doesn't keep really any of the routes. And he's just going to throw a Dean. Oh, my gosh, a seed here. So we're going to get table route. This, you could try to throw this, but these table routes don't get great animations. You could easily get a rally tackle. See how this guy goes down at it? This guy snaps to it. It's a great read by Kobo. He throws this in the tightest window, right? If he waits on this, the only problem with waiting on this is Drip could switch stick to it, but Drip's all the way over here. But anyway, Kobo hits it right there. This guy's kind of rallying back. This is throwable, but it's a really nice play by Kobo. Hits that in a nice window in a gotta have it moment in this game. He goes to a tried and true staple trips combination that has worked for the last several years. That combination has been good, and they were all hot routes. It had nothing to do with play. It was just a good old-fashioned trips combo. Crosser the tight end, slant route the inside guy. You would normally have a flat on the middle trips and an in route, but this year you could use a return route. So it's a out route return combo. The return's getting open as well. Great combination there, and that is, again, just a high-quality combo. I would call that combo until they stop it in the red zone, because that combo is almost always available to you. Ball on the 35-yard line. Let's see what SEO Drip's rocking here. 15 streaks. Everyone's on a streak except the tight end. He throws the one guy that's not on a streak. And I think Kobo's got to be back in dollar here, I would think. He's got plenty of time to get a stop, but this is the drive. This is the gotta-have-it stop. He goes to Beanog, actually. So goes to his 3rd defense of the game. I want to break down this Beanog defense. There's actually some cool stuff to learn about it. And we'll have to break it down. It is basically a cover 0. It's similar to 6-1. The difference is you have a nickel corner, which I think is actually a weakness. The blitz is a little bit different, though, and it depends a little bit on where Kobo's user is at here. But I would assume he's user in the tight end. No, he's user in the – okay. So here it's send 4, zone out everybody, and good read to Drip from the tight end. The general gist of it is you're going to have a send 4 where you zone out everybody, but then you're also going to have a man-to-man send 5 that Kobo will go to some, and I'll talk about it if we see him use it. He's not spreading his D-line. He's actually leaving them. I think he's pinching them, actually. And there's the send 5. So the problem with this way of running Beanog is, as you see, he's hovering, but typically in Beanog, you don't want to blitz off the tight end side because the tight end can mess up the blitzers. That's why you're seeing Drip run the tight end on vertical routes a lot, because that'll mess up the blitz if Kobo is indeed blitzing. Here he is sending pressure like this and then hovering over the center and then bailing into coverage. The biggest issue with this is, as you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See that chip right there? That chip messed up the entire blitz. The blitz is now not effective, and he now has plenty of time to be able to just make a read. He ends up kind of making the worst read you could have made there, as he had the drag in the backside wide open, but is what it is. That's going to take us to 4. To the 4th quarter. Put your 4s up if you made it this far in the video. Also, I forgot to mention in the beginning, I'll leave links to Kobo's stuff. I'll leave links to Drip's Twitch. I don't think he has an ebook out. I'll leave links to all these guys' stuff in the description of the video. All right, this is a gotta have it. I mean, this is pretty much a gotta have it drive here for Kobo. He's in this Beanog. Let's see if he sends pressure. This time just a send 4, zone out, tries to insta rollout. That insta rollout did nothing for him there. I don't know why Drip did that. Probably just a designed QB rollout, trying to hit that slant route. Go to Y off trio close here. and kind of a free, or going to go dagger, I would think. Yep, dagger. Kobo mans the running back up. Drip going to throw it into triple coverage. You see Kobo's face goes crazy. And I mean, this is bad. I mean, this is, I don't know for sure what does Kobo even do here. Is it just man? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You get kind of an adjusted man. So cover two, looks like a third, and then a man up here. He also mans this up and he mans this up. So the thing with the man ups, why is it helpful? Well, when you have these two deep zones, it's harder to freeform the streak when you have help like this. The freeform streak is really ideal against cover 0. So he has everything bagged. You can't really throw that. 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 That is actually the open player, but it would be a potential click on interception if you threw that. So getting shedded, Drip throws this. Now, I just kind of hate the throw, but it ends up not hurting him, right? This game is very hard to get interceptions. Donald Parham into triple coverage, basically not able to get the pick. And Drip now 4th and 8 decision. Do you go for the first down here, or do you kick a field goal? A field goal makes it where Kobo has to get a touchdown. But if he gets the first down in a game that's pretty easy to get first downs in, this is a big play. So 4th and 8, he's going to choose to go. He's going to do what everybody does, right? Little combo here to the left. There's good pressure from Kobo. And finally, the blitz came in, and Drip actually hit it, which is hilarious. This is really good defense by Kobo, and it's like one of those things where sometimes great offense beats good defense. But what you're going to get is you're going to get that blitz. So again, you're going to get send pressure right here. This is the blitz. You probably have a contain out here, maybe a zone out. And then you're going to get what appears to be, so the combo this is a standard combo. We're just going to take 4 receivers and flood that left side. The running back route will beat man. And so you see here, there's no flat defender. There's nobody over here. Nobody. So Kobo is going to defend the flat himself with the switch stick. You're getting pressure. This is the only person Drip can throw the ball to. So Kobo's switching it. He's right in position. And he just takes him a step out of position. Not able to get it done. And you're going to see there that, Kobo's able to, or Drip's able to get a first down. It's a massive first down in this game because it also allows him to take more clock. If Drip's able to score here, really hard for Kobo to come back because of the situation. And, because he's going to take a lot of time here, right? He's going to call 3 plays. Kobo can't really call his timeouts yet based on the situation. It's going to be very difficult for Kobo to call timeouts. To me, if you're in Drip's shoes, I don't know what you do if you get on a 4th. He's going to go to this RPO play out of empty quads. I'm surprised he didn't run the trips tight end. We didn't see him go to trips tight end and all out of Jags, which is one of the reasons you would want to use Jags is for their trips tight end. That run did not work against double mug. Kobo going to double mug down here in the red zone, going to give him the ability to stop a lot of these quarterback runs. What he's doing is he's using the safety. And now what the thing is, Drip knows it's cover 0. So he knows, right, it's going to be cover 0. But it's kind of hard to beat it quickly because you're going to get that quick pressure from mid blitz, So those are some factors at play here. But anyway, here Drip. The other thing is Drip can't audible out of empty quads for whatever. I don't know why he came out because he can't audible to anything really. Hits the bubble. That's a touchdown, right? No. This is a big mistake by Drip, and this is going to probably cost him the game. So. He calls this bubble. This bubble's really a pain in the neck to defend. As you see, it's wide open. Now, you're right here. I think you just got to run straight. It's Champ Bailey versus AJ Barner. There's probably a 50 to 70 pound difference between the two of them. So we just stiff arm here or truck, right? If you truck, this is probably a touchdown. He dives. And he gets that instant little animation there. It's kind of unfortunate he doesn't get the animation that he wanted, But I think if he trucks right there, I want to say that's a touchdown. And I just feel like, he kind of had a touchdown. And so he does ultimately get on a fourth. I don't know how he's on a fourth, but he's on a fourth, right? He's on a fourth. He's going to go to that same play. I was kind of thinking you probably go here. He goes to the QB blast. He's not able to get it. And Kobo goes berserk. Kobo goes berserk. Kobo, ironically, like, did really, I mean, he did get a stop there, but he has not played well. And here he is with a chance to go win the game. I definitely agree. I think I agree with Drip's decision to go for it because you're still up 3. So worst case scenario, obviously Kobo scores 7. It's pretty likely though. You put Kobo in a I mean, you got to go from the 1 yard line and you got to be perfect. So this is not an easy drive, but Kobo is locked. As you see the facial expressions, sipping the water on him, right? This is the money drive. This is where Kobo is going to drive the ball down the field. He's going to take all this clock and he is going to get a touchdown. Drip only has 2 timeouts here, so I wouldn't be surprised if Kobo runs the ball a little bit to get the clock down a little bit more. The biggest thing is he doesn't want to give Drip the ball back with a ton of time. Biggest thing first is you got to go score a touchdown. But the second biggest thing here is you do want to make sure that you don't want to give Drip a ton of time. The one thing here, you're going to see Kobo's best plays. Here you see there's the corner out play, wide open, get upfield. I think he wants to stay in bounds there. He was able to. That's one of his best plays. I'm surprised we didn't see that play, I think, until the second half. We might have saw it one time. That's one of his money plays. I wish he would have called it a little bit more in the first half. But anyway, you'll get here into this trips look. This is a run. It could be a run. Nope, going to be a triangle play. I like that Kobo goes to this play, and I like that he calls it. This is a very underrated play. Now, I actually think in this year's game, a swing route is better than this flat route because it will pull the flat defender down more. But notice that Kobo goes to this combo. It's not a red zone. It's not a red zone combo. It's just a combo that he goes to. And notice how open the entire field is here. Look at this play. You've got the in route right there. You're going to have this cross get in a good place. Like, you have a lot of stuff open even though you're not in the red zone. A lot of people don't call that play except for the red zone. But that play is actually a really, really, really good play to call anywhere on the field because it just gives you those nice pockets to be able to throw. Kobo going to go back to trips tight end. If you guys didn't know, Kobo won a belt in Madden 24, I believe, in trips tight end. What was his main offense? So he is kind of a trips player at heart, right? But obviously using more bunch now, more bunch strong offset. He really is called, I want to say 3. It's called trips. It's called bunch strong offset, and I believe he's called a little bit of normal wild close this game. There's Durham. He's been calling that a lot. He's going to try to speed burst out of there. Now you're in a spot. So Drip goes ahead, and he takes the timeout. You're kind of in control here if you're Kobo, but ultimately you do have to score. You have to score a touchdown here. So I'm curious to see what he ends up going to. It's honestly not at this point. I feel like Kobo could score at any time because if he scores a touchdown, he's going to go up by 4, which means Drip has to then go score a touchdown with no timeouts. That's really hard to do. So to me, if you're Kobo, he ends up running there, but I think he's just going to try to score now. He also has the timeouts. Why would we go to split screen here? Why in the world would we go to split? I just don't understand the broadcast. 14 seconds and we're in split screen. And a little scramble out of there with Josh Allen. Now you got to get out of bounds. You don't have to. You time out there. 8 seconds, 3rd and 7 from the 9. And that's where I don't know about that run call on first down. I don't think he necessarily needed that, but we'll see what he's going to have 2 dots, basically. 2 plays. Seam wheel, touchdown, empty bunch. So we have been seeing in this empty bunch all game long, we've been seeing flat, return route, crosser. Right? What we see here is he goes with just basic verticals. And you see here that the user's kind of staying here. Drip's probably expecting this to return. Instead, it seams up. It's a great play in a great spot. And Kobo's able to get a touchdown. And he goes berserk. He goes crazy at SEO Drip. And he's able to get a touchdown. I've never seen Kobo talk like that. Never seen Kobo talk like that, and he goes crazy. He goes crazy. You know, he makes a good play. Drip kind of says a little something back to him. You guys can watch the broadcast. I'll leave a link to the video if you want to actually go hear at least what the broadcast captures that he says. But now all you got to do, 5 seconds, got to get a touchdown. He's in a Hail Mary position. This is not a very difficult defensive play. With the way sheds are in this year, you probably don't pass commit. The reason why is because if they do run the ball and you do pass commit, you probably can't do that because your whole team will run slower. It's kind of too easy to run the ball on you. But what you'll see here is just a good old fashioned, probably man up 3 deep. And oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Kobo, what are we doing, buddy? I love that we're watching replays, by the way, instead of watching the Hail Mary. Because look at where they show us the game. I'm just gonna pause it. Look at this. Play is already snapped. We can't even see what he's doing. I think he's just in basic 2-man under or man up 3 deep. He switches here, but I mean, this is like, what are we doing? This is. I'm actually shocked that he doesn't score. Dion versus Dion. Dion won. Crazy game. Crazy game. One of the game, I think, game of the year. I mean, so far. I mean, this was a crazy game, start to finish. A lot of stuff behind the game as well. Clearly a new rivalry between these two guys. And shout out to Kobo for getting the W. Again, I'll leave links in the description to all of the things that I talked about earlier in the video. If you're looking to get better at Madden, take a look at our school community. It's only $10 and it'll give you the information that you need to win more games. If you want to see the Gabagol David T breakdown, that is already on the channel and we'll have a lot more. So thanks for watching.